you chart your course workshop. It is amazing that you guys, it's awesome. That's awesome that you guys have invested in yourselves for this hour. Obviously, not too many people are willing to do that. So you are the few and the proud investors versus spenders. You're not spending an hour, you're investing an hour. You will get a return on your investment, I promise. Most of all of you guys know me, but I know there's a few other people. This hour tonight, I'm wearing my hat of an accountability coach. What that amounts to is that we are going to talk about what it is that you want. What do you want out of life? Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? And then we're going to talk about how you get there. Basically, as an accountability coach, I'm going to help you get to where you want to go. That's the end game. In my former lives, I was an occupational therapist, so I have a very holistic perspective on everything. It's body, mind, and spirit. Never in any of my teachings, very rarely, will I talk about just one aspect, because everything ties together. And that's going to be true tonight. Big family, which always gives a person lots of opportunities to practice healthcare. You all can appreciate that. And then more recently, as a farmer, I can't even talk tonight, regenerative, that's a better word, easier to say. But looking at the farm as a whole system as well. A lot of what we'll talk about tonight flows from all of that, from looking at life, looking at ourselves and what we do as a whole system, not just as pieces, parts. Now it's your turn. I'm gonna start with some introductions, and there's a point to this, but what I want you to do is, and I'm using the timer on my phone, so that's, give you about 30 to 60 seconds to grab something that is within arm's reach that is meaningful to you. So something within arm's reach that's meaningful to you, and then you're going to tell us about it. So, go. Okay, Darcy, we're grabbing something within arm's reach that is meaningful to you, just really quick, as with our introductions. Okay, now you get a minute, if you need it, the whole minute, to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your thing. Where you got it, why you keep it, what is meaningful to you about this thing. And I'll start just, what I have is this plaque that says life is an adventure. And I got it at one point when I put it up on my shelf. So it was the first thing I'd see in the morning. I needed to remind myself that life's an adventure because I'd wake up in the morning and think, this sucks. And I don't want it to be that way. So I got that to remind myself. And I'm happy to say I now see it and I use it as a reminder of where I was, because that's not where I am anymore. So that gives me a happy thing in the morning now. So that's my story. Amy.
I had to unmute myself. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sitting on my bed and there's literally nothing in my reach except my notebook and pencil. But that's cool because I like to write stuff. I also have my phone right here. I thought about using that, but I figured that was kind of shallow. Um, Although my phone does have like all of my pictures of my kids and all of my contacts and all of my, pretty much everything is stored in here. So maybe that's important. I don't really have anything that's super valuable in arm's reach. This is what I got: a notebook and a pencil and a phone.
Phones count, especially with the kids
it's
in
a
there.
really cool resource. Yeah, it has a flashlight, all the things that you need.
And the people. I mean,
Yeah,
without
it
our
has all my
phones.
content. That's important.
Right, right. Cool. Tatum, what have you got?
Well, actually, I have my kid right there.
I locked my.
So I kind of cheated, but he's literally, yeah, the only thing that's like right there. But well, aside from a couch and a chair and things that I'm sitting on. But no, yeah. So okay, yeah. So he's my kid. I got him in 2010, and what was the other question? Like, why is he important? Because he's my kid. But
Right?
no, I love him. He was our firstborn, and he brought us down to reality and realizing that we're parents like of a real human instead of dogs. So
Yeah. Cool. Thanks. Nadine, what's within your arm's reach?
I'm gonna switch this around. I got Charles, my little dog. He's just my buddy, my pal, my friend, and he gives unconditional love and loyalty.
That's priceless.
Exactly. That's what I think too.
Tonight's goal is to help you start to rewrite your story, to help you start to define things for yourself, define what it is you want. Whoa, hey, hang on. I don't want a slideshow. Do not auto advance. Why are we going to do this? What we're going to do is articulate who you want to be. When you do that, when you can bring into integrity your values and your beliefs and your actions, that helps you stay in integrity and stay accountability with your vision. By just taking time to define and write these things down, it's kind of like having a compass with a true north on it that's dialed in correctly. When things vary, you have a place to go back to say, no, wait a minute, this is what I want. Shiny item syndrome, shiny stuff syndrome doesn't affect you as much, not as distractible, because you've articulated who you want to be and you know what you need to do to get there so you can stay in integrity. That helps improve your relationships. It helps you with problem solving, conflict resolution. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So it helps you figure out a lot of where you want to invest yourself. This is your planning, your roadmap. 2020 has been quite the ride, and it caught a lot of people by surprise, changed a lot of plans for a lot of people. I know we've talked about that, Amy, right? That's where you got off on your path a little bit. This helps to define, even in crazy times, where you want to go, so that 2021 isn't going to catch us by surprise. And we can still chart a course through it, even when it gets messy and mucky and there's a lot of things we can't control. Come on, slide up. this code or this story, this process will help you understand how help you articulate how life works, how you want it to work, and how you're going to operate in your own world. What got you here is not necessarily what's going to take you into the next thing. Your habits, your choices, your actions are all intimately woven with your beliefs about yourself. So some of this is getting down to the real nitty-gritty of things. I have a quote by James Clear. Your current behavior is simply a reflection of your current identity. What you do now is simply a reflection of the type of person that you believe that you are, whether consciously or subconsciously. To change your behavior for good, you need to start believing new things about yourself. So we're not going to go entirely necessarily all the way tonight because we don't necessarily have that kind of time. But this is a process to help you get down to the root of things and really consider who you are and who you believe to be, because that's the basis of everything that you do, how you see yourself. A lot of our foundational beliefs and our foundational identities are formed really early in life. They helped us make sense of who we were and how we needed to navigate our worlds. Some of us had wonderful worlds, some of us had more challenging worlds, but we made it through. And our identity and the stories we told ourselves about who we were and what we did became our foundational beliefs, and they got us through. 2020 has been a liminal space for pretty much all of humankind. And a lot of us personally are in a liminal space. A liminal space is merely a fancy way of saying we're at a juncture. We're at a point where we get to choose how we're going to write our story going forward. We don't have to keep doing the same old things, especially if they're not getting us the results we want. Our brain is a protection device. Our brain's job is to keep us safe. So it's always saying, well, stay safe. Do the thing you've always done because it's gotten you this far, and that's the safe zone. That's where you got to stay. No, don't try that. That's our brain's job. But if you want to change your behavior, change things that you're doing, get a different result. Sometimes things change so that we have no options but to do things differently. We have to override our brain a little bit. And that's part of what a liminal space is. It's a juncture of time and space where doors are open and change is possible. And we have an opportunity to make things different going forward, to go forward into a new and better thing intentionally with choices. So what we're going to be doing is hacking your brain system tonight to get deeper. We're going to skip past a bunch of these. This is a very old process, actually. All of these are people that have gone through this and they have defined what they are all about. And that's what keeps them true to their course. When a Marine's going in someplace, he knows what he's doing. And there's no doubt in his mind, and he's not going to deviate from it because his organization has gotten clear and they've hammered it into him. So this is our chance to get clear, to hack our brain's safety system and start to design more of what we want going forward. It's our personal mission and vision kind of statement. So this is where you get your pen and paper. We're going to take some time and go through this process together. The first thing on your paper. And you can do this, let's just do it about life in general, but you can go back later. And sometimes it's helpful to do it about specific things, or specific issues, situations, whatever. But tonight, just do it in general terms. Write a list of at least 3 things that answer the statement, I care about. It can be things, it can be people, it can be concepts, ideas. 3 things that you care about. Okay. The next one, answer the statement, I value. What are things that you value that are important to you? And again, it can be things, people, concepts, ideas, qualities. What comes up? And then the last one, beliefs. Finish the statement, I believe, with whatever comes up. Okay. So you should at least have a start on 3 lists there. Okay, as you look at those lists, how do your actions and the things that you wrote on your list align? What do your actions say about your beliefs? The saying, actions speak louder than words. Sometimes our actions tell us what we believe way down. So what are your actions telling you about your beliefs? Are what you think you believe and what you're doing aligned? Are they in integrity? Or where do they need to align better? At this point, what insights or ahas? Do you have any? What are you seeing? What comes up as you're looking at those? What strikes you? Were there any surprises in what you saw as you're looking at what you wrote? And go ahead and unmute. I can't unmute anybody, so. What do you see there, Amy? Did things line up for you pretty good, or what was your aha as you looked at it?
Well, I was just sitting here contemplating, like, okay, if these are the things that I believe, do I live like that? That's true. So I feel like maybe I have a little bit of adjusting to do. I mean, it's not like terrible, but
Yeah,
maybe
no.
I have a few things to tweak.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting when you write them down. You realize, oh, hey, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Tatum or Nadine, did you guys have any ahas or things that jumped out at you?
Well, a lot of the stuff, even what I care about, what I value, and what I believe, kind of have the same answers, sort of. At least in my mind.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of consistency.
Yeah, I'd have to say
across
probably,
things.
Yeah, I agree with what Amy said, that like writing it down, it's almost like easier said than done. Does that make sense? Like it's easier to like write this down than actually be the one doing it. I don't know, does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And whoop, we lost Tatum.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And that is the thing of it. That's always the thing. It's not the knowing, it's the doing, right? Knowing is a starting point, but it's the doing. And that's where, when you start to look at what am I doing, am I living in alignment with what I believe or with what I say I believe? When you start to go back and you ask, well, what belief am I acting on? Sometimes you start to uncover things. That gap between belief and action, between what you value and what you're doing, that's your tricky space where you can change things. And looking at, well, what belief am I acting on? I think I believe this, but if I am, a good example, if I am consistently eating junk food, even though I know I shouldn't, what belief am I acting on? I say that I value myself and my self-care and I value health, but underneath it, do I value myself enough to take care of myself? Or you see where that gap falls. So that's just one example, but looking at those gaps between what you're doing and what you wrote down that you believe, that's your golden opportunity to dive in a little deeper and get things lined out. The closer you get to lining those up, the more on target you'll be with your compass, the more integrity you'll have. Health depends on having integrity between your identity, your beliefs, and your actions. So that's what this process gives you the opportunity to do, whether it's physical health, mental health, emotional health. It's looking at what do I believe about myself? What do I believe about my world? Because that's what you're acting on. You can take this one step further. Put what you discover, put your guiding beliefs and values there into bullet point statements, and then develop these as guiding principles. It gives you an opportunity to put actions to it, and then keep refining and revisiting it. Because you'll find that sometimes it changes. That idea of what has worked to get you to this point in life is not necessarily what is going to help you succeed in the next thing. When you're at those transition points where you have opportunities, what helped you get to that transition point will keep you from moving into the next best thing. So taking a look at, well, what's my deeper beliefs? What do I really hold as truth? And that's what I can act on going forward. All right, I've got another writing for you. Think for a minute. Welcome, Tammy. Take a minute and think. In your wildest dreams, who would you like to be in 6 months? In your wildest dreams, finish the sentence. In 6 months, I am a person who. Okay, does anyone want to share what their most wild dream in a perfect world? I am a person who. For me, it's I'm a person who has no clutter in the corners of my house. No piles on my desk.
That does sound like a very perfect world. Well, it counts. If you don't throw it out there, you're never going to get there. So. All right, so the next set of questions. Because doing and being are intimately woven together. When you want to change what you're doing, who you be, your being, is very much a part of that. Sometimes, especially as we go through life, challenges happen, things get hairy, all sorts of things that we kind of lose track of who we want to be as people, just being who we are, just
as a woman of whatever age we feel like we are, nobody's counting years. We just lose track of these things in the midst of all the doing. But the two are intimately woven together. So when you look at your I am a person who, what does that person do? What actions does she take? What daily practices does she have? How does that person relate to your cares, values, and beliefs? I'm just curious, Amy, because you shared a bit about that. How does your person that you want to be in the future line up with your cares, values, and beliefs?
Wait, say that again. Who my my vision of my future self, how that lines up with my cares, values, and beliefs.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my cares, values, and beliefs, I think they're a lot about my family and about like safety and security. I feel like maybe that's just because that's the season, you know, the world is in right now. But who I am has a lot to do with refining those things and stopping with all the distractions that surround me and really focusing on, you know, how do I value my family more? How do I value the time that we have together? Things like that. Just being more intentional, I guess.
Good way to put it. Yeah. Yeah. When you start to project into the future with who you want to be, then those cares, values, and beliefs, it helps you refine, like you said, and become more targeted and focused and let the other stuff fall away. And then you're going to get there. You have just stepped through that liminal and put some intention into it through that opportunity, that space of change, so that you will be that person in 6 months. It's not a wild dream anymore.
Yay.
Yay, yay, that's the process.
I think I'm going to move to your perfect clutter-free world, though.
You can come visit me. How about that?
Okay, I would love to.
Oh, Tammy, you missed out on the first part of what we did.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Lost track of time.
That's okay. I understand. Did you have any insights or any thoughts? You just got that last little bit, but or not quite.
Well, mine is kind of twofold. I would like to be a person that's more peaceful and that spends more time on relationships. You know, I've found with this year especially that what is most important, and it's people, and it's God, and it's not things, and it's having time with those that you love and those you care about. So that I would say those two things.
Yeah. How about you, Nadine?
Well, what I am shooting for, kind of lessons that I've learned in the last few months, that I want to be a person who loves the voiceless, and I want to have more connection with the elderly, because that's kind of been off limits with us. So, but that's also they kind of correlate, sort of.
They very much do, especially at
I-
this moment.
Yeah, because I value God, friends, and family. So, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. And sometimes you find that different seasons call you to focus on certain things,
Correct. Yep.
right?
Yep.
Right. So then the $1,000,000 question, of course, is, do you have the skills to be that person in 6 months or even 12 months? That's always the challenge, which is where an accountability coach comes in. Because this is a great process, and just doing this alone, just clarifying it and putting words to it, that's the power of writing things down. Is when you put words to them, that kind of creation is as old as Genesis. And we have that. That's a way to speak truth into your life and speak action into your life, is to put things into words. So just going through the exercise, especially since I know all of you guys are doers anyway, you're not ones to just say it and then sit there and wait for the fairy with the magic wand. It's a powerful way to start the changes and start things happening. Knowing and doing. Having tools helps a lot. Being in integrity with your identity, your goals, and your habits is crucial for getting things done and for having good health. It's just kind of the rule of the world. So that was the reason that I asked. The one question is, what daily practices does your person have 6 months from now that help her be that person? What practices, daily habits do you need in order to get there? This is from Gandhi. Your beliefs become your thoughts, thoughts your words, words your actions, actions done over time become your habits. And then it makes a circle around to your habits are your values. And all of that becomes your destiny. We're put here to do something. And that thing, when you start to define all of these, you start to lean into what you were put here to do, whatever it is. So as an accountability coach, I've already helped you define your goals, your values, what you want to do. In my class, the Abundant Living class, we take this to the next step. And even if you're part of the Good Living group, I share parts of those habits, the little daily habits that help you define your thoughts, your actions, your habits and values, and help you get to that, being that person that you want to be. Besides the skills and tools, though, you get the training, you get support and encouragement. Just talking about things together. Not only did you write words on your paper, you have now spoken them. There's a lot of power in that. And you guys have similar things, values around family and relationships, value around people that need your help, which maybe is putting words to it a little bit. But when we look at our children, and Nadine, I know you're looking out the other end. You're a little further along than some of the rest of us with kids in the house yet. But all of that is what makes the transformations happen. So I know that you guys can be the person that you wrote down in 6 months. I know you can do it. You're already way on your way. So if you have more questions, and I'm going to ask you for more questions in a minute, but I want to invite you to have more conversation, to talk more about breaking these down even more, getting into that deeper why. When your actions don't line up with what you think you believe, it's an opportunity to say, well, what do I believe that I'm living out? And what can I do to have the habits that support who I want to be? Are you a person that invests in herself? I know you are, because you're already here. You already invested an hour, and I know you got a return on it of something. Are you ready to be that person in 6 months? Because I know you can. So, you already on your way with this? I would love to talk with you more, because we have another course starting up, and if that's a helpful thing for you, we can talk about that. We can just talk about what you want to talk about how you're going to get there. So, questions. What do you guys have questions about with this? Any? If not, that's okay.
So let me see how I phrase this. Should we, I'm like a list person, like I need a to-do list, or I lose track of what my priorities are. Like if it's not written down, then I just do whatever's in front of me to do. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I was supposed to do that earlier. So if this is the person that I want to be 6 months from now, like obviously I can't make a to-do list for the next 6 months. So what are like steps you would recommend for like daily or weekly, like making sure that we're getting to where we're going?
One of the first things, oh, let me get back here, is take what you wrote down and make a creed out of it. Make something that you can post up where you can see it, so that when you start to get distracted, you say, oh, wait a minute, this is what my focus is. This is what I want to do. And schedule a weekly meeting with yourself, or a really great thing to do is do an evening journal, and it'll eventually get to be a habit where you can look at it and say, this is what I wanted to do. I was close. This is what I regret about the day. This was what was awesome and lit me up. This is what I want to do better tomorrow. Those are tools that you can use to keep yourself on that track. Beyond that, it's learning the small, the small disciplines of life. I don't have it handy. Benjamin Franklin, he had like everything lined out. Way back when, our grandmas had daily routines that they followed faithfully without fail. You just did it this way. You know, at one family camp, there used to be Reader's Digests in the bathroom, because in the morning you went and did they had their morning constitutional, however many articles it took. But there were there were routines that they followed that helped them have an orderly life, to stay on track, to do the things that they needed to do. Even though they didn't have dishwashers with all of their kids, and driving places was a lot harder. So getting groceries, there were a lot of things. Back even further than that, they had to chop wood, and these small daily practices are the things that keep your body running in tip-top shape. help you clear your mind. Doing that journaling is a great way to set yourself up for good sleep because you've allowed your brain to dump already and clear itself so that it's not processing while you're sleeping. It can do the other tasks that it needs to do while you're sleeping. So that's another reason why that's a good practice. It improves your sleep. When you get good sleep, you know, your mood feels better. Your brain is clearer. You have fewer aches and pains because your body can clean out any inflammation or other things. My allergies are a lot less when I get good sleep. So all these small practices help you on all those levels. And once you're clear on all those levels, then it helps you stay on your target because you're not as distractible, short-tempered, going off chasing other things and forgetting, oh yeah, that's right, I needed to do this or that with the kids. I'm sure nobody else ever does that. But does that answer your question?
Yeah.
It's kind of a long roundabout, but it was a good question. Yeah. Any other questions? I am going to send you a couple of resources via email. Oh, you were with us, Tatum. You were hiding and didn't show up on my screen. Well, I'll send them to you in email. Tatum, did you have any ahas or questions?
Yeah, my internet was being a little bit wonky, so I kept like cutting in and out and in and out and in and out. So but it was good listening to everybody.
Yes, the joys of rural internet.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So, all right. Any last thoughts, ahas? What's your takeaway thought? What's your thought or action step from here? The subliminal message here is I need to talk to Jill and get on her schedule for the rest of this week.
I like the journaling idea, but I've tried that before and I just can't stick with it, you know, but I like the concept of, you know, writing about your day at the end of the day. But by that point, when I'm getting ready to go to bed, I'm usually too tired to even think about how my day went. So I'm thinking, brush my teeth and go. And I have no trouble sleeping. I sleep like a log.
When you do it regularly, do you notice any changes or what do you notice?
Well, I haven't done it in a long time. So I'm trying to remember. If there was stuff on my mind, I did find that it was easier for me to just let it go when I wrote it down and then not think about it all night long. So yeah, if I had something that happened during the day that made me frustrated or upset, it was an easy way for me to just let it all go, put it on the paper, and then I didn't think about it at all when I went to sleep. So it did help me in that regard. So
if you didn't do it just before bed, when could you do it? And I guess before I ask that, even
probably an hour before I would normally go to bed, maybe. I'd have quiet time and just write then.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
But
And
it's hard
isn't
though,
this-
because my husband is coming in from outside at that time. So
Mhm.
it's kind of our time together. So it's really hard to fit that alone time in that time of night.
Right, right. Yeah. So there's lots of ways to go about letting go of things and doing things. And this is where the tools and skills come in. And part of why I encourage people to be part of the course for a whole year, because that gives you that much time to figure it out and for
Right.
us to figure out what's going to work for you. So you're saying that it helped you to let go of things,
Mhm.
and it sounds like you just were more at peace through your sleep and just at peace in your mind more.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
in all honesty though, I mean, these days I go to sleep and I don't think about anything. So just,
Right, right. Who
but
did
there's
you-
days when
oh,
I have stuff that comes up that I will think about, you know. So certain days it would be helpful for me to do.
Mhm.
So
What was the person that you wanted to be in 6 months?
more peaceful, and I think it was develop relationships with other people, have better relationships with people.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe journaling just before bed isn't the time when you have the energy to do that.
Yes, exactly.
If there was a way that you could let go of those things so that you
Mhm.
had more peace
Mhm.
and didn't carry things into relationships
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
it's gone and dealt with, it's let go.
Right.
Right,
Yep.
Mhm.
right. So,
Mhm.
so these are the skills. These are the things. This is the fun that we have, of course, figuring it out. But now you've got something to think about. You got a tool you can take away,
Yep. Yep.
figure it out. Yeah. And maybe journaling isn't your thing. Maybe it's a walk in the afternoon to
That
think about today.
does
or-
help a lot when it's not freezing cold outside.
Yeah, yeah. When the wind chill isn't somewhere down around 0.
Yeah.
Right, right,
Yep. Yep. Because
right.
that's a practice I do whenever the weather is decent and I can stand to be out there, you know.
Yeah,
Other than in the winter when I'll ski, you know, I'll go ski in the afternoon and that'll
Sure.
be a good, so, yeah.
right.
This
There
is the
you
in
go.
between time right now, you know. You can't really ski and you don't really enjoy being outside because it's so cold.
Just that like stupid cold season.
Yes.
Yes, yep, yep. So you have opportunities to do a little problem solving and think it through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What other takeaways? What's your action steps? Amy and Tatum. What are you going to take out of here?
I need to get a better routine. I just fly by the seat of my pants, if I'm being honest, all the time. Every day is different. It's just whatever kind of throws itself at me, and I just do stuff. And then it's not like I'm unproductive. It's just that I may not be doing the things I should be doing. So I just need to like prioritize what I'm spending my time on.
Mm-hmm. Nice. You sound like me when I got that.
I just have a lot of things on my plate, and they might not all be things that belong there. So maybe I could get rid of some of them, and then I would be more focused on what is necessary.
Yeah. Yep. And it helps. The way that I keep this as a reality is I have small habits that start my day and that end my day. anything can happen in between there.
I read that somewhere.
Anything. Yeah, yeah. So just having small routines around just how you start your day and how you end your day. Your touch points of sanity anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's there? Show
Tatum.
yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Amy hit it actually right on the head for me, because you have these things in your brain. It's like, I got to do this, and that. And then the day starts, and then you go to bed and you think, what did I do? Like, what did I do any of those things? Because it's just life. Like, it's just life. And it seems like it's going by a lot faster as each day goes by. Like, because to me, this year started to me like a few weeks ago, but it was like it's been like 10 months already, 11 months. And I'm thinking, what had happened? What just happened now? I don't know, maybe that's just a 2020 thing. But I think, yeah, just kind of actually like sitting and focusing that I have other things going on, but to take like the actual time for things that I need to do. So that's weird for me. So that's going to be a brick wall to, I guess, go over or under or through, however you want to look at that. So we'll get there.
Yep. And having just small touch points of sanity, that's the key sometimes. Yep. Beyond that, whatever happens, because that's how life rolls sometimes. So,
Mhm.
all right. Well, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for participating. I like interactive things. I don't like to just stand here and tell everybody everything. I don't have that much wisdom, but but I will send an email to you guys. It should go out tomorrow. Like I said, with those, it's a couple worksheets that are just resources that basically go over. So you have an in-hand tool for what we did tonight. So you can keep using it. You can apply it to your job, your family, whatever. You can be more specific if you need to, other than just like life in general. And that, Tammy, is you'll see it in the email. And if you'll get the recording, you can watch the first half. It's the cares, values, and beliefs activity that we did. Yeah, that'll make more sense then.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, and again, I would love to talk more, get more clarity. You're invited to apply if you want to get these habits. Get the things that, I mean, I know that they'll get you there. With whatever you said in 6 months, I know you'll be there, because I have people in my group now, I have one group that are doing it and achieving that. And it's amazing and wonderful. So that was all I had tonight. It was wonderful talking to you. And I look forward to, I know I'll see you guys all around later. So if not sooner, I will talk to you later.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Have a
Bye.
great night, everyone.
You too, Jill.
You-
Bye.